This feels better. Come up to the fire, ladies.
I'm not cold.
What the hell? Before we move things about, explain to Mr. Henderson just what you saw when he came here yesterday morning.
By the way, has anything been moved? Things just as you left them yesterday.
Just the same. When we dropped below zero last night, I thought I'd better send Frank out to make a fire for him. He was getting pneumonia with a big case on. But I told him not to touch anything except the stove. And you know, Frank!
Somebody should have been left here yesterday.
How? Yesterday. When I had to send Frank to Morris Center for that man who went crazy. I want you to know I had my hands full yesterday. I knew you could get back from Omaha by today as long as I went over everything here myself.
Well, Mr. Tell just what happened when you came here yesterday morning.
Harry and I started to town with a load of potatoes. We were coming along the road from my place, and as I got here, I said, I'm going to go see if I can't get John Wright to go in with me on the party telephone. I'd spoken with Wright about it once before, but he put me off, saying that folks talk too much anyway, and all he asked was peace and quiet. I guess you know how much he talked himself. But I thought maybe I went to the house and spoke about it before his wife. Well, I said to Harry that I don't know what his wife wanted made much difference to John.
Let's talk about that later, Mr. Hale. I do want to talk about that. Tell now just what happened when you got to the house.
I didn't hear or see anything. I knocked at the door, but still it was all quiet inside. I knew they must be up. It was past 8 o'clock. So I knocked again. I heard somebody say, "Man." I wasn't sure. Not sure yet. But I opened the door, this door. There. That rocker. That Mrs. Wright.
What was she doing?
Well, she was rocking back and forth. She had her apron in her hand and was kind of bleating at it.
And how did she look?
Well, she looked weird.
How do you mean queer?
Well, as if she didn't know what she was going to do next. Kind of done up.
How did she seem to feel about your coming?
I don't think she minded one way or the other. She didn't pay much attention. I said, "How do, Mrs. Wright? Miss Cole, ain't it?" She said, "Is it?" Just went on, pleating at her apron. Well, I was surprised. She didn't ask me to come up to the stove or to sit down, but just sat there, not even looking at me. So I said, I want to see John. And she laughed. Yes, a little laugh. I thought of Harry in the truck outside, so I said a little sharp, can I see John? No, she says, kind of dull like. Well, ain't he home, says I. Yes, says she, he's home. Well, then why can't I see him? I asked, out of patience. Because he's dead, says she. Dead, says I. She just nodded her head, not getting a bit excited or rocking back and forth. Why, where is he? I asked, and not knowing what to say. She just pointed upstairs. Like that. Well, I got up with the idea of going up there. I walked from there and then over to here. And then I says, what did he die of? Died of a rope around his neck, said she. Just went on, pleating at her apron. Well, I went out and I called, Harry! I thought I might need help. So we went upstairs and there he was, lying on the bed.
I'd rather have you go into that upstairs, where you can point it all out. Just go on now with the rest of the story.
Well, my first thought was to get that rope off. It looked. But Harry, he went up to him and he said, no, he's dead all right. And we better not touch anything. So we went back downstairs. He was still sitting the same way. Has anyone been notified? I asked. No, she said, unconcerned. Who did this, Mrs. Wright? Said Harry. He said it businesslike, and she stopped the pleating of her apron. I don't know, says she. You don't know, says Harry. No, she says. Weren't you sleeping in the bed with him, says Harry. Yes, she says, but I was on the inside. Someone slipped a rope round his neck and strangled him, and you didn't wake up, said Harry. I didn't wake up, she said after it. Well, we must have looked as though we didn't see how that could be, for after a minute she said, I sleep sound. Harry wanted to ask her more questions, but I said we ought to let her tell her story first to the coroner, or the sheriff. So Harry went fast as he could to Rivers' place. There is a telephone.
And what did Mrs. Wright do when she knew that you had gone for the coroner's?
She moved from that chair to this one here. Just sat there. Hands held together, looking down. I got the feeling that I ought to make some conversation. So I said that I'd come in to see if John wanted to put in a telephone. At that, she started to laugh. Then she stopped. She looked at me, scared. I don't know, maybe it wasn't scared. I wouldn't like to say it was. Soon, Harry got back. Then Dr. Lloyd came. And then you, Mr. Peters. So I guess that's all I know. You don't.
we'll go upstairs first and then up to the barn and around there. You're convinced that there was nothing important here? Nothing that would point to any motive?
Nothing here but kitchen thing.
Here's a nice mess.
Oh, her fruit, it did freeze.
Huh?
She worried about that when it turned so cold. She said the fire'd go out and her jars would break.
What can you beat the women? Held for murder and warrant about her preserve.
I guess before we're through, she may have something more serious than preserves to worry about.
Well, women are used to trifles.
And yet, for all their worries, what would we do without the ladies?
What can you beat the women? Held for murder and warrant about her preserve.
I guess before we're through, she may have something more serious than preserves to worry about.
Well, women are used to trifles.
And yet, for all their worries, what would we do without the ladies? Not much of a housekeeper, would you say, ladies?
There's a great deal of work to be done on a farm.
To be sure. And yet, I know there are some Dixon County farmhouses which do not have such dirty towels.
Those towels get dirty awful quick. Men's hands aren't always as clean as they might be.
Loyal to your sex, I see. But you and Mrs. Wright were neighbors, I suppose. You were friends, too.
I've not seen much of her of late years. I've not been in this house. It's more than a year.
Why was that? You didn't like her?
I liked her all well enough. Farmers' wives have their hands full, Mr. Henderson. And then
Yes.
it never seemed a very cheerful place.
No. It's not cheerful. I shouldn't say she had a homemaking instinct.
Well, I don't know as Brad had either.
You mean they didn't get on very well?
No, I don't mean anything, but I don't think the place would be any cheerfuler for John Wright's being in it.
I'd like to talk more of that a little later. I want to get the lay of things upstairs now.
Suppose anything Mrs. Peters does will be all right. Taking some clothes for you, do little things. Without such a hurry.
Oh, yes. But I would like to see what you take. And keep an eye out for anything that might be of use to us, Mrs. Peters.
Yes, Mr. Henderson. Whoa, I don't have them coming into my kitchen, snooping around and criticizing. Of course, it's no more than their duty. Duty's all right. I guess that deputy sheriff that came out to make the fire might have got a little of this on him. Wish I thought of that sooner. Seems mean to talk about her for not having things slicked up when she had to come away in such a hurry. She had bread set. She was going to put this in there. It's a shame about her fruit. I wonder if it's all gone. I think there's some here that's all right, Mrs. Peters. Oh, yes, here. This is cherries, too. Oh, I declare I believe that's the only one. She'll feel awful bad after all her hard work and the hot weather. Oh, remember the afternoon I put up my cherries last summer. Well, I must get those things from the little closet. You come with me, Mrs. Hale. You can help me carry them. Hi, it's cold in there. Right was cheap. I think maybe that's why she kept so much to herself. She didn't even belong to the ladies' aid. I suppose she felt she couldn't do her part, and then you don't enjoy things when you feel shabby. She used to wear pretty clothes, be loud. And she was Minnie Foster, one of the town girls singing in the choir. That was 20 years ago. This all you was to take in? Oh, she said she was wanting an apron. Funny thing to want for there isn't much to get you dirty in jail, believe me, but I suppose to make it feel more natural. Well, she says that it was in the top shelf. Yes, here it is. And her little shawl would always hung by the door. Yes, here. Mrs. Peters? Yes, Mrs. Hayden? Do you think she did it? Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't think she did. Asking for an apron? And her little shawl? Worrying about her fruit? Well, Mr. Peters says it looks bad for her. Mr. Henderson is awful sarcastic in his speech. And he'll make fun of her saying she didn't wake up. Well, I guess John Wright didn't wake when he was slipping that rope under his neck. No, it's strange. It must have been done awful crafty and still. They say it was such a funny way to kill a man, rigging it all up like that. That's just what Mr. Hale said. There's a gun in the house. He says that's what he can't understand. And Mr. Henderson said, coming out here, that what was needed for this case was a motive. Something to show sudden anger or feeling. Well, I don't see any signs of anger around here. It's light to here. Wonder how they're finding things upstairs. I hope she had it a little more read up there. You know, it seems kind of sneaky, locking her up in town, and coming out here and trying to get her own house to turn against her. But Mrs. Hale, the law is the law. I suppose 'tis. Better loosen up your things, Mrs. Peters. You won't feel them when you go out.
there did it. Well, let's go out to the barn and get that cleared up.
I don't know if there's anything so strange. Our taking up our time with little things while we're waiting for them to get the evidence. I don't see there's anything to laugh about.
Of course, they've got awful important things on their minds.
Mrs. Peters, look at this one. Here, this is the one she was working on. And look at the sewing. All the rest of it has been so nice and even. And look at this. Why, looks as if she didn't know what she was about. Oh, what are you doing, Mrs. Hale?
Just pulling out a stitch or two that's not so very good. That sewing always made me fidgety. I don't think we ought to touch things.
I'll just finish up this thing. Mrs. Peters,
Yes, Mrs. Hale.
what do you suppose she was so nervous about?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if she was nervous. I know it's so awful clear when I'm just tired. Now, I must get these things wrapped up. They may be through sooner than we think. I wonder where I might find a piece of paper and string.
In that cupboard, maybe?
What? Here's a bird cage. She has a bird, Mrs. Hale.
I don't know if she did or not. I've not been here for so long. There was a man around last year selling canaries cheap, but I don't know if she took one. Maybe she did. She used to sing real pretty herself.
Seems funny to think of a bird here, but she must have had a bird. Why'd she have a cage? I wonder what happened to it.
I suppose maybe the cat got it.
Oh, no, she did not have a cat. She had that funny feeling some people have about cats being afraid of them. My cat got into her room and she got real upset and asked me to take it out.
My sister Bessie was like that. It's queer, ain't it?
What? Look at this door. It's broke. One hinge is pulled apart.
Looks as if someone must have been rough with it.
Why, yes.
I wish if they were going to find any evidence they'd be about it. I don't like this place.
But I'm awful glad you came with me, Mrs. Hale. It would be sad me sitting here all alone.
It would, wouldn't it? But I tell you what I do wish, Mrs. Peters. I wish I had come over sometimes when she was here. I wish I had.
Well, you were awful busy, Mrs. Hale. Your house and your children.
I could have come. I stayed away because they weren't cheerful. And that's why I ought to have come. I've never liked this place. Maybe because it's down and a hollow and you don't see the road. I don't know what it is, but it's a lonesome place. It always was. I wish I had come over to see Minnie Foster sometimes. I can see now.
You mustn't reproach yourself, Mrs. Hale. Somehow we don't see how it is with other folks until something comes up.
Not having children makes less work, but it makes a quiet house.
Peters? Not to know him. Seen him in town. They say he was a good man.
Yes, good. Why don't you take the quilting with you? It might take up her mind.
Well, that's a real nice idea, Mrs. Hale. There couldn't possibly be an objection to it now, could there?
What would I take?
Oh, I wonder if Patches aren't here. And our things. Where are you going to?
Here's some red. I expect this has got sewing things in it. What a pretty box. Looks like something somebody would give you. Maybe scissors are in here. Well, there's something wrapped up in this piece. Oh, Mrs. Peters. Mrs. Peters. Look at it. Its neck. Look at its neck. It's all other side too.
Somebody wrung its neck.
Well, ladies, have you decided whether she was going to quilt it or not it?
We think she was going to knot it.
Well, that's interesting, I'm sure. How's the bird flown?
We think the cat got it.
Silly cat.
Well, not now. They're superstitious, you know. They leave.
No sign at all of anyone having come from the outside. Their own road. Let's go up again and go over it piece by piece. We have to get something just in time to get into the barn and speak of the food.
She liked the bird. She was going to bury it in that pretty box.
When I was a girl, my kitten, a boy took a hatchet, and before my eyes, before I could even get there, if they hadn't held me back, I would have hurt him.
I wonder how it would seem never to have had any children. No. Right, wouldn't like the bird. The thing that sang. She used to sing. Killed that, too.
We don't know who killed the bird.
I knew John Wright.
It was a horrible thing that was done in this house at night, Mrs. Hale. Killing a man while he slept, slipping a rope around his neck and choked the life out of him.
His neck choked the life
We
out
don't
of
know
him.
who killed him. We don't know.
There'd be years and years of nothing, and then a bird to sing to you. It would be awful. Still, after the bird was still,
I know what stillness is. When we first settled that land in the Dakotas, my first baby died. After he was 2 years old, and me with
somebody
nobody
was supposed to help you through looking for the evidence.
I know what stillness is. The law has to punish crime, Mrs. Hale.
I wish you'd seen Minnie Foster when she wore a white dress with blue ribbons and stood up there in the choir and sang. Oh, I wish I'd come over close together, and we live far apart. We all go through the same kinds of things. It's all just a different kind of the same thing. If I was you, I wouldn't tell her fruit was gone. Tell her it ain't. Tell her it's all right. Take this in to prove it to her. She may never know whether it was broke or not. My, it's a good thing the men couldn't hear us, would they? Would they, Lamb? Get all stirred up over a little thing like a dead canary, as if it had anything to do with. But would they, Lamb? Maybe they would. Maybe they wouldn't.
No, Peter, it's perfectly clear such a reason for doing it. You know juries when it comes to women. Some definite thing, something to show, something to make a story about. Thing that would connect up with this strange way of doing it.
Well, I got the call woman up. Pretty cold out there.
I'm going to stay here a while by myself. You can send Frank up for me, can't you? I want to go over everything. I'm not satisfied that we can't do better.
You want to see what Mrs. Peters is going to take in?
Oh, I guess they're not very dangerous things the ladies have picked out. No. Mrs. Peters doesn't need supervising. For that matter, a sheriff's wife is married to the law. Ever think of it that way, Mrs. Peters?
Not just that, wait.
Read to the law. Just want you to come here a minute, George. We gotta take a look at these windows.
Yes, windows.
Right out, Mr. Hell.
Is that the only one?
I think so.
Well, Henry, at least we found out that she wasn't going to quote it. She was going to... What is it you call it, ladies?
We call it nodding, Mr. Henry.